guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you may on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon, and I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Lucas's Path. So, y'all, we're gonna pick it back up right here, and we're gonna attempt to get the better part of the. We're gonna attempt to actually get farther into Lucas's Path. Barring that, we will be jumping right back into Oscar, and then we'll be jumping right back into Lee. So we've got plenty of content to get through, y'all. So. Before we get into that, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server, and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go! Alright. Alright, so this is the big decision. There's a genuine concern that he might overheat and pass out from the dark red his ears are looking in the way his red cheeks are peeking through. Do you find him attractive? No. Not really. I mean, I find him a great person to be around, but I don't think I would want to sleep with him. He's just a great friend to me. Right. That didn't look like it soothed his nerves at all. In fact, he looks even more awkward than before. Usually, he's surprisingly bold when it comes to speaking his mind, but he looks so shy this time. Do you? What? Do you find him attractive? That leaves him speechless, or more accurately, sputtering out incomprehensible words like the notion of it is just insanity. This doesn't last long before he's able to give me a straight answer. I suppose I do, but it's not a fair comparison. It's like finding a stripper attractive. It doesn't mean anything. That brings back another memory as well. Oscar mentioned you checking out Lee in that outfit on Thursday. Was that true? He shifts his eyes around as if anyone around us would be able to make out what we were saying with the hustle and bustle of the most popular mall in the city. I was just curious. He's hiding a lot. Yeah, I guess that's true. Aura mentioned you liked outfits like that. Did he mean that, or was he messing with me? It's always hard to tell with him. Ah. He licks his lips and is avoiding eye contact with me at any cost. It's shockingly cute to have him flustered over this of all things. If I had to give an answer, I'd say yes. Is that a question? No, I do like them, yeah. Can I ask why? Normally things that are super colorful give me headaches, but clothes are usually tame enough that I'm able to enjoy them. I just don't get to see stuff like that often, and it catches my eye. Ari wears them all the time, though. But he's more like family than anything else. I can't see him like that, even if he sometimes wants me to. Ari mentioned trying to sleep with Lucas before, but was rejected. But still, Ari doesn't give me the vibe that he actually wants to have sex with Lucas. Just tease him a little. Maybe. But it's surprising that Lucas is into the kind of stuff that Aura and I guess Lee wears. He always comes off so stiff, though maybe that's why. I already know I already know that Aura was going to make me put the stuff like that on. He's been like a shark in the water after he got me to wear this shirt earlier. Maybe I should let him point something out for me. Speaking of which, my phone rings with a text from him. He's ready and waiting for us at the store, but to make sure we finish all our food first. They won't let us in if we have any on us. What does he think we are? Children? Of course we're not taking food into a clothing store. I don't want to be banned somewhere before I even buy something. Lucas is shamelessly looking across the table at my phone, which I haven't exactly been hiding as it lays flat on the table. Not that I mind, I don't have any secrets on there. None that he'd understand anyway. I guess we should hurry up and finish our drinks then? We can just drink them on the way. There's a trash can near the store. He gets up and I make sure not to trip as I scramble after him. This guy. Whenever he has his mind set on something, he just does it with no hesitation, even if he regrets it later. Last night solidified that fact. The mall is getting even more filled up than before. There are at least 10 people in each direction. I've never seen somewhere so packed before. I can feel Lucas's fur against my arm as he gets closer to me. His slumped head and drooping ears make his discomfort blatant. Wanting him to feel as secure as possible, I press my arm against his own. He lets out a little yip in surprise before giving me a glare. It's hard to take seriously with how red his face looks, but I can tell from his very active tail that he's not in a bad mood. I can feel it rubbing against my leg. Thanks. No problem. To call the large pile of clothes tossed over Aura's arm intimidating would be an understatement. I'm certain he's holding more than my entire collection. The absolute rainbow of colors scattered throughout the pile has me both worried and curious. Who knows what that Martin has in mind? Well, I bet Lucas knows. Maybe Lee, too. Wait, am I the only one in the dark? We've got a lot of stuff to try on, so I hope you guys are ready for our own little fashion show. Is the store even okay with you carrying that much? You look like some thief trying to hoard as much as he can. Second, y'all. It is. time, or coffee time. My wonderful mate makes food for us. I already talked to them when I asked where the changing rooms were. They said we were fine with as long as we used the changing room near the back and didn't disturb the guests. Is that why we're in the shoe section? Yep. Normally people just sit at one of the benches to try them on, so these stalls are barely ever used unless the place is packed up. So we got these bad boys all to ourselves. Aren't we lucky? It's obvious he's reveling in the shared anticipation between Lucas and me. He looks positively glowing with excitement, and it's hard to be annoyed by it. Even Lucas looks like he's trying to keep his face as grumpy as possible, though it's clear from how bouncy his tail is that he's at least a little excited. At least we're far away from any other customers. I don't want anyone seeing me in whatever you picked out. I have a great fashion sense. I'm gay, after all. It's kind of our thing. So are we. That doesn't mean anything here, idiot. Oh, please, you two are like gay light compared to me. Or even Lee and Oscar. Those boys know how to rock what they got. Not that you two don't have your own style, too. I just think you should experiment more. R.A. gives me a little wink as he sticks his tongue out at Lucas, who only replies with a roll of his eyes and a sigh. Looks like he's finally just going with whatever Aura's planning. Just give me the clothes so we can be done with this. Alright, fine. I've got a bunch of different sets for the two of you to try. We'll go one at a time, since both of you will take away from the show. Since both of you will take away from the show. That's just going to make this take longer. We're here to enjoy this too, Lulu. No need to treat this so formally. You don't get to go shopping, right? Not really. Only during Christmas with my parents. So doesn't trying on stuff with friends sound a bit fun? Just a little? He meets my eyes for a moment before staring at the ground, picking at the carpet with his claws. He already looks adorable, but the moment his ears begin to deepen, it's sickeningly sweet. I guess. Then we'll start with you first. You're the more important one anyway, so I have a little more for you. Ari splits the piles into two different stacks, and while Lucas's is higher, it's very clear that mine has some very inspired color choices that I can only imagine what the actual outfit looks like. Fine. Don't expect me to act like one of your little models. I wouldn't dream of it, dear. To prove a point, he offers the first pair of clothing with the most smug smile I've ever seen on a person. It's almost like he's playing into the cartoony stereotype mustelids have for being conniving. With a huff, he yanks them out of Aura's and trots into the changing room. Thankfully, there's no way to peek into the stall, but it's clear from all his unbuttoning that it's going to take a while. Actually, all what I'm going to do is I am going to skip forward. A little bit. There we go. Alright, so it looks like we are close to the, close. Alright. So we should be okay now. We should be A-okay now. There should be no problems now. Alright, let's do it. If he doesn't want it, then he can just say no and we can both move on from this whole awkward situation that would put a hormonal teenager to shame. Made feelings. Taking the leap, I lean forward and press our lips together. There's a moment where the fox's body tenses up and I'm worried to make an awful mistake, but that barely lasts a second before he melts against me. It's not long after that he presses his mouth back against my own, and then much more. He steps forward and it's like he's devouring me, using just our mouths. His tongue slips between my lips, tracing the outside of my mouth and along my teeth before meeting up with mine. I'm left too stunned to do anything but be swept away by his current. Not that I want this to stop, especially after he wraps his arms around my neck to pull me closer. It's like the kiss has completely evaporated all thoughts in my head, and all I can focus on is the electricity flowing between us. My hands are rubbing his lower back without my brain telling them to do so. Second, y'all, it is water time. Alright, y'all, and we are back. Alright, my fingers toy at the bottom of his shirt, and I slide them underneath to feel his soft fur, my claws lightly raking against the skin of his lower back. He moans into my mouth as one of his hands grabs the back of my head, his fingers gripping the fur on the back of my head. It doesn't hurt and only makes his presence more prominent. It's messy. I don't know what I'm doing, and Lucas isn't too much better, but it's wild and primal. There's nothing but raw emotion between us. We stand there, the world beyond the fox against me fading away until it's just the two of us. I couldn't care less if anyone saw us, and it doesn't feel like Lucas would stop for anything. The only sound ringing in my ears is little moans that slip out of his mouth as my fingers dig deeper into his shirt. Any noise from the cars running by is inaudible to my hyper-focused mind. All that matters is the fox in my arms and his tongue against my own. Unfortunately, good things can't last forever, and Lucas pulls away. Except this isn't some romantic slow departure. He yanks away from me with a horrified look on his face. Fuck! I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. The shrill whine that slips from his throat is enough to completely shatter the mood and put me back on high alert. His whole body is rigid, even worse than last night. No, 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 no! Did I just royally mess everything up? Please, just... He's not able to get any more words out, and he turns to go into the building, raw panic enveloping all his features. I reach out to him, placing my hand against his arm. I don't want to grab and frighten him. After all we've been through, I know he likes his space, and if he wants to let me in, he will. Looks like he's about to pull away, but he doesn't. He just stops in his tracks and stares at the ground. His shoulders are shaking and his tail is frozen in place. Yes! We got past it, y'all. Alright. Tell me what's wrong. Just talk to me. Despite all the traffic that's passing us by, all I can hear is his breathing. It's so heavy, like he's struggling to find enough of it. Please. Then I wait. For what? For him to say something? To leave? I'm not even sure, but I just need something. There's something to the way he's just standing there. It causes my heart to bleed. In the end, though, it doesn't do either of those options. Instead, he turns around and presses his muzzle into my neck. There's no dramatic reaction on my end. The situation is too serious to be bashful. I just wrap my arms around him, my head resting on top of his. The only sound between us is our breathing, but I swear I can feel the drumming of his heart. I'm here for you, always. It doesn't have to go further than this. We can just be friends. It's fine. It hurts to say because right now at this point in my life, no one has ever made my heart soar as much as this fox. He presses his nose deeper into my fur and I tilt my head back, giving him easier access as he breathes in my scent. I can physically feel him relaxing against me as he does. When did the smell of me become a source of comfort for him? I want to as well. I really like you, Wallace. I've never felt like this for anyone else. I can feel his breath hitching and his voice is strained as if he's holding back tears. But I can't hurt you. Not like this. I'm scared too. It's the final straw. I can't just keep giving him passive comfort. He's just spiraling himself down a dark pit in his head. You wouldn't hurt me. I know you wouldn't do that, and even if you did, you wouldn't do it on purpose. That doesn't change the fact that you might get hurt. If something happened to you because of me, I'd never be able to... I pull him tighter against my chest, and I can feel his fingers grip the back of my shirt tighter. His claws are beginning to prick my back, but I can barely feel them right now. You've never hurt me, and you never will. Please, Lucas, give yourself a chance. You can't beat yourself up like this. I slowly pull him away, enough that I'm able to see his face. There's a shade of hurt, but it's jolted away as my hand cups his cheek. You make me happier than I've been in a long time. I hope I've been doing the same. You have. You have. Please, give yourself a chance. Give both of us a chance. Not just for me, but for yourself, too. I lean forward, bringing our muzzles close together. There's barely an inch between us when I finally stop. I'm able to feel his deep breaths against my lip, and I can feel his heartbeat through my hand. It's thrumming like a drum. I won't force you. I want you to choose for yourself. Do what makes you happy. There's a pained look that colors his face, and it's clear that there's something more to this than he's just worried about hurting my feelings. Whatever is going on with him, it must run deep and extends long past his relationship with me. But eventually, that anguish merges together into a single tear running down his cheek. But I lose track of it as he closes the distance between us and our lips collide again. Just like the first time, it's more than just a simple kiss. It's like fireworks are exploding in my chest, and the moment his tongue slides into my mouth, it's like carrying an electric current with it. How could he ever think he'd hurt me? I've never felt this ecstatic in my whole life. There's a brief bit of hesitation in my chest, but it pressure him into this and it makes everything worse. Water time. That thought is quickly dashed as the fox presses further against me, his previously curious tongue now devouring my mouth like a hungry predator. I'm forced to take a step back as he presses his body against mine. He's always gotten enthusiastic during the previous kisses, but this is something different entirely. It's like there's a weight off his chest. Hope this is the case, and he's in as much ecstasy as I am. Falling into the kiss, my tongue follows his as he runs it along each of my teeth. It's not even a wrestle for dominance, he's just overpowering mine through sheer eagerness. Eventually, he pulls away, and I'm barely able to keep myself standing. My hands never felt this hot or light before in my life. Lucas doesn't look like he's faring much better. His ears are a deeper red than I've ever seen them before, and his breaths are coming out in deep pants. And that's not the thing that catches my eye. He looks more relaxed than I've seen him since we started talking about this. There's still the nervous twitching of his ears, and there's still slivers of fears hidden away. But he's doing significantly better than moments ago. Then he meets my eyes, and a small smile appears on his lips. It's subdued, but it's enough to make my heart do flips. Thank you, Wallace. For what? I didn't do anything. That was all you. I was just giving you a little push. He looks down at that, and I grab his hand without thinking, squeezing it tight with my own. He clenches his hand down like he's afraid I'm going to rip it away before looking towards our apartment building and eventually towards our surroundings. I'd completely forgotten that we were outside. It doesn't look like we have an audience, but I doubt no one has noticed that what we're doing. Let's go in. We'll head up to your room. I bet Aura's wondering what's taking us so long. No, can we go to yours? I want to talk about this more, just not right now. I'm willing to try it. Alright, y'all. Yes, we made it! Yay! We made it past the hump. Lucas's path can continue as planned. Alright, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!